Welcome back to Giant Slayer's Fight Night Legends. We're going straight into game with this one. We've got Sqweeby versus Len. Len going to be starting out on Scouts, going up against the Aphelios Twisted Fate of Sqweeby. No champions in hand yet for Sqweeby, but Len on the other side, actually, a pretty reasonable curve here. He's got a play on 1. He's got the bank on 2 for Sharp Sight, and then can go into Misfortune. Overall curving out into the 4-5 pretty decently as well on top of that, and we'll see how that progresses throughout the turns as well, and just getting that early aggressive board trying to go off.
I mean, obviously would rather have a 2-drop here, but I mean, you still get to play Uno as much as you normally would. You see a 1-mana unit, you play a 1-mana unit. You see a 3-mana unit, you play a 3-mana unit, etc., etc. Vanguard Bannerman, Quinn, all that. So, I mean, a very nice goldfish hand being put forth by Len, and Sqweeby certainly going to do their best to play around that and counteract that. But Len is just going to be doing the good old-fashioned Scouts game plan. Play Misfortune on 3, Bannerman on 4 to pump everything up and lather, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the MF here, you get the challenge, you get the free pick off onto the Spacey Sketcher as well with your challenger, and then just start to buff things up. Just try and build a very, very strong board with as much board integrity as you can, and push forward for the actual race towards the face. After that is all said and done, we even see a rally in hand with that relentless pursuit.
Yeah, this is nice play by Sqweeby, doing the open pass. Scouts not one to really want to take a lobster pass, as we call it, to eat the mana. So Sqweeby gets to develop a Boxibus here, threaten to kill a Misfortune. We of course know that the Sharp Sight can come out to save the Misfortune, which I imagine it will.
Yeah, I think keeping the MF alive makes a lot of sense here. I think it's likely that we see that Sharp Sight.
Yeah.
There is always the concern that there would be a hush or something of that nature, but I think overall, this is worth the risk, and the payoff is huge.
Yeah. Even though, like, hush is not, like, super valuable in this matchup necessarily, in the abstract, you're fine, I think, trading hush for Sharp Sight most of the time.
Yeah, I think that would be an all right trade overall. It's not like you wouldn't clear away the Boxibus. It would still be a trade.
Right.
And the upside is massive of your Misfortune staying alive. Going to be Bannerman. Crescent Strike is going to be able to buy some time. But there will still an attack gets to come through for Len. Still going to be able to actually push a little bit of damage and get that little ping for the MF to start getting things rolling.
Yeah, and as we see, there's not actually any there's not really a good answer for MF right now. Aphelios, Sqweeby's gonna have to do a little bit of work to get Aphelios to pull another Boxtopus. Oh, never mind. Aphelios has already triggered. I missed a spell here. So now Aphelios is going to be able to get a Boxtopus next turn to threaten the MF, but MF might not be the biggest worry next turn, considering a Quinn can come down, a Cythria the following turn. I mean, this is why I like playing Scouts decks so much more. I mean, every turn, Sqweeby has had like 4 to 5 different lines that could happen, ranging from very good and optimal plays to like you've botched the game. Like, even though they're not reasonable plays, they're still options, right? Len is, you just play Uno. I see my 3, I play my 3. I see my 4, I play my 4.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, he's got a 5 even here that he can just go for if he wants. He's just got the ability to go for Quinn. He's bluffing that he's got a buff, so the Boxtopus doesn't just kill his Misfortune right now. But I mean, this is a really comfortable spot.
Yeah. And even Len even has the we're taking the Uno game. Len even has the reverse of the relentless pursuit to say, nope, it's gonna be my turn again, or the skip. It's the skip. But we'll see if it's gonna be enough. This Misfortune is going to go down here. Not really much Len can do to stop that, but Quinn is the follow-up.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not horrible for a trade. His 4/3 trades into a 3/4. Of course, the mana advantage,
Mhm.
you know, Sqweeby being able to play that Box of Us out for 2 spell mana was definitely more efficient, but you are able to get your Quinn down with a Cithria on the back burner to really just set up a massive swing on the following turn. And, you know, maybe we see a red card try and deal with Valor, trying to mitigate some of the pressure here, but
Yeah.
geez, does it not feel incredible overall?
No.
I mean, you take this for sure, you do, but not your favorite situation.
Yep. And this is part of the power of the Scouts deck and these aggressive decks in general is there's just not a lot of time to actually play this Veiled Temple. Like, you are essentially banking your tempo to gain later, and the Scouts deck is generally able to put the pressure on in a way that punishes banking your tempo. It's just not usually going to end up being good enough.
A Quinn open attack being considered. A couple of options here from Len. It looks like he wants to go for this Vanguard Redeemer. I wonder if this is, Redeemer plus Rally being considered. Or if this is just Redeemer plus Fleet Feather Tracker set up to play Cithria plus Rally on the following turn. I mean, there's a few different lines here. The Rally can also just be held a bit longer. It's not like Len is really pressured to use it just yet. He can wait for a more fortuitous situation.
Yeah, I like the open attack pull. Okay, this is similar, though. There's a Calibrum here, so this Valor doesn't really do much in terms of changing anything.
Trade 2 for 2.
Yeah, trades 2 mana for 2 mana, which I think in general is in this case it's not really in favor of Len, considering how choked he is on mana and how expensive his hand is.
Yeah, I would say generally it favors the Fellows even because most of the time they'll have like a Veiled Temple on board. It's like, you don't want to be trading mana.
In general, yes, but without the Veiled Temple on board, I could see an argument for it. So I kind of like that open attack instead. Basically the same result is here. Len, I guess, tested the waters, but like not really, considering that Sqweeby played a card that was open information. So I feel like this line didn't actually accomplish anything, except it opened up potentially Sqweeby to play something that was stronger. Granted, this could be have Sqweeby use the mana, trade mana for mana here into the open attack like we see here. Sqweeby then commits too much mana, like a Veiled Temple here. Len then gets to go Fleet Feather Tracker plus Rally. You can Scout attack with Quinn for free, and then all of a sudden you're hitting for a bunch, but it's not enough. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a pretty good attack. It's like one of those. It's one of those rallies that's like, okay, well, I chunked him out, right? Which is can be good. It can be good to get those rallies where you get to push a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But it doesn't win necessarily. Right. And you have a Cithria in hand, right? Like you want to rally with that.
Yep. So Len not committing the rally. If he was going to commit the rally, he should have led with Fleet Feather Tracker instead of Valor, I think, because the follow-up attack with Valor is actually much. I guess it's the same attack, right? But it's better because the Valor will definitely have Challenger where the Fleet Feather wouldn't have. But long story short, didn't go for that line anyway, and just goes for the develop.
Yeah, and I mean now it's just turn 7 Cithria, turn 8 Cithria plus Rally, and I mean that is backbreaking, I would say, for Sqweeby. I think that this is very likely. You can see the writing on the wall of these next 2 turns are pretty played out. There's pretty much nothing better in this deck that you can be doing, and he's going to be pretty happy about this setup.
Yeah, I mean, Sqweeby does get a nice 2 for 1 here to stop the like just game immediately over, but it still might be. The Cythrias still might just be good enough anyhow. Well, the question is, does Len open here, or is he developing the Cythria?
Well, there hasn't been any invoke yet, so you can play the Cythria because you shouldn't be worried about any big development punish hitting you.
Right. Yeah, because they're... Well, if you went Dusk Petal into Star Shaping, that would be 7, 3, 4... Yeah, no, it's still not actually... It actually doesn't do anything. It doesn't give you enough mana to do anything, even through Temple, so... Yeah, this should be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a double Cythria swing with a rally available. You can only chump with 2 of these units that you have, one of them being Twisted Fate, and after this, I mean, everything's got Fearsome once again. I mean, it's just done. I mean, it's over.
Yeah. When even Star Shaping can't get you out of it, you know you are kind of boned.
Absolutely. I mean, this was kind of just, textbook Scouts. Len play the biggest thing that he's got. There was one play on the previous turn where there were a couple different lines that arguably could have netted a point or 2 more of damage or a little bit better board position. But end of the day, with the hand that he had, everything he did was fine. He knew he was in a good spot. He had the Cythrias. He was probably just looking to keep the board as wide as possible at any given moment there for this Cythria turn. And, it was certainly wide enough. And Len's going to be able to grab that. And now he'll just have one more game to go to continue to move on through the losers bracket, make it a losers final play against each.
Yep. That is going to be the GG. Sqweeby you really don't need to do too much math to know that that's going to be lethal there.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a lot. Yeah, I think when you hover the eye, it just says a lot over the Nexus when that attack was coming in. And yeah, it's going to be done. So now on the other end of that, there is going to be Len on TLC.
Yes.
Going up against Sqweeby with TLC and Aphelios TF. So we might get the TLC mirror. We have seen this a bit. It ends up kind of being a draw diff mirror more than anything. There are some little bits and pieces that you can do. Old TLC, the Trundle Ladros control instead of the Trundle Wander control, had a lot more interaction, I feel, than this version is a little bit more draw dependent. But we're not going to get the mirror straight away. So before we even get into that, let's just talk about TF Aphelios going up against TLC.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually TF Aphelios is a weird spot against TLC, and maybe this is partially why we've seen it go more towards the Mono Targon. The Boxtopus plan, not super good against this deck. The Burblefish, also not super good against this deck. The sort of go wide, go low plan, that's exactly what Len wants to see, right? The deck is nothing but avalanches and other AoE spells and life gain to deal with those cards. And then even Mind Meld, like, you're just not going to be able to get a board that's big enough to be able to Mind Meld. And then you've got your sort of Goldfish turn 8 where you're able to just end the game, pending, Crescent Strikes or other stun in Hush effects. So Len, I think, should be relatively okay, but also, an Aphelios deck is still an Aphelios deck at the end of the day, and also a Twisted Fate deck, which can always do quite well against pretty much anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think fortunately for Len, the TF in this specific matchup with this Aphelios deck, since it doesn't tend to level up on one turn, should be able to be easily dealt with things like the Avalanche or the Blighted Ravine. So you shouldn't have to worry about that too much. And the hand from Len is pretty solid, right? He's got these, the Vile Feast is going to be able to hit some of the targets early on. Aphelios can be answered by the Avalanche, and then you've got the turn 5 Trundle. So a lot of the early game is feeling pretty good if you're in Len's shoes.
Yeah, we could even theoretically just see the Trundle plan as like a preemptive plan A. Like, just play the Trundle out and start beating down. There's not a ton of good answers on the side of Sqweeby, and if Sqweeby is using any resources to kill a Trundle that's beating him down, that's fine. Like, if a Hush needs to be used to stop a Trundle, that's amazing, because plan A is the Watcher. Okay, that was actually a very good draw from Len, as this Entreat is very favored to draw the Lysandra, which it does. And now we see Trundle, 2 Trundles, or Trundle plus Fading Memories plus Spectral Matron. That's enough. That's combo right there. So we have Goldfish turn 8 online to be able to get actually get multiple Watchers down.
Yeah, I mean, definitely in a good spot for Len here. Feeling pretty good. Equinox, though, for Sqweeby. Was able to find that off his Spacey Sketcher, and that's certainly going to be helping out against the Watcher. So the deck doesn't get destroyed, but the alternative win conditions of the Trundle are still certainly going to be online.
Yep.
And a lot of removal for what Sqweeby is trying to do in the first place. So I think Len, regardless of if the Watcher does get Equinox, which it will, certainly so, is going to be still a good position overall. And as you mentioned, right, there is still the Ephemeral Watcher that can come down with the Spectral Matron on top of, before having another real one. So these silences are going to have to be held on to for quite a while.
Yeah, they can't be cast before that turn anyway. Crescent Strike doesn't actually do anything in and of itself. It's not enough. I mean, any one of those spells is not enough. It's going to take 2 spells on turn 8 to stop the deck out from happening. And Sqweeby's actually going to have to hush the ephemeral one and then Equinox the real one, or else you just have created a permanent 11-7 for Len off of the Spectral Matron, which is not what you want to do. This is an interesting play from Sqweeby. I don't think you want to do this. You actually want Len to have units like the Spider and like Lysandra's Thrall in play. You want those in play so that board space is a problem for them. I think Sqweeby actually just did Len a favor by doing that, unless Sqweeby is setting up for like an all-in turn where he goes super wide and the chump block matters, but I don't think that that's generally going to end up being the case.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be the option, right, for Sqweeby. He's just got to be looking to go for some big swings coming up. He's just trying to keep the board thin so that he can widen his board and look to go in. But of course, Len has a lot of answers to a wide board. We could even see something like the Ice Quake come down right now, which could actually be a very strong play into the Aphelios. We haven't seen the Veil Temple proc yet, so that does hurt the Ice Quake game plan, because that would save the Aphelios, which probably means that we won't see Len go that direction. But still, there are potential opportunities coming up for Len to just completely wipe out this board.
Yeah, I don't hate. I don't necessarily hate. Oh no, actually, I do hate developing Lysandra here because it's going to get challenged. So no, don't play Lysandra.
Okay, Ice Quake. It looks like at least being hovered by Len. I still don't hate this. So one thing about this Ice Quake is, even if the Veiled Temple does get to buff up the Aphelios, you still can clear away the Aphelios with either the Withering Wail or the Avalanche. More so the Avalanche, because it will be able to get past the next turn's Veiled Temple buff.
Yeah.
The other option here is to start with this Avalanche, right? And then this opens up next turn, and even one turn further, potentially being able to kill with the Ice Quake. So this is setting up for success for Len. I do like using one piece of AoE here and potentially using more later on, but we're going to see the heal onto Aphelios.
Ooh, and this is going to get punished because now Withering Wail kills Boxtopus. Whereas if Sqweeby spread out the heal we'd have an X2 Aphelios and an X3 Boxtopus, instead of an X4 and an X1. So potentially a punish on a punishable moment for Len, but we'll see if that is the route that they are going. I would imagine interesting. I mean, you definitely do want your spell mana, though you're effectively burning 2 mana by, you know, not playing anything there. But we go here, and, you know, Sqweeby able to, you know, potentially get something going. Golden Sister, of course, this Golden Sister is asking to get ice quaked. And there is an unknown to Sqweeby champion in hand, right? There, because the entreat was played earlier, so Sqweeby knows there's at least a 50% chance that there's a Trundle in hand.
Yeah, there's still has to be looming that the ice quake could come down.
Right.
As we see, Sqweeby just gonna go for the Calibrum, probably just wanting to cycle this, also to get the mana back from these Veiled Temples.
Yep.
Gravitum gonna be the selection.
Yeah, and like we talked about in a different match, I believe Gravitum can get cycled through, especially with the leveled Aphelios. You can pretty much infinitely stun a Watcher with a Gravitum. I believe you can get back to it in time to stun the Watcher forever. But we shall see. Right now, there are a lot of options to stop the, you know, Watcher combo from killing on turn.
A slow-paced matchup, but once again, thought comes to the ice quake. It looks like from Len, gonna go for it. Just trying to clear away a little bit of this board. Hush was hovered, but there's not really any place for a Hush to come down.
Yeah, that would be asking for trouble. Now, this notably, we can see next turn for Len, we can see Pillar. We can see Pillar into Matron copying Lysandra to get a leveled up Lysandra in play and a Watcher in hand. We could see Pillar. No, there's not a way to get. I don't think there's a way to get a 0-cost Watcher in play next turn. Because the Matron needs to target the Lysandra to actually even get the leveled Lysandra into play.
All right. Tia found off Written in the Stars is going to just blue card. I was debating whether he would go for the gold card here to push 8, but I suppose he pushes 8 regardless. It's just a matter of did he want the Trundle to be dead or not. Decides against it.
I mean, this is basically like trading a card drawn for your opponent to have the option to save their Trundle, which might be worth it. It's certainly close, if nothing else.
Oh, there we go. Pillar coming down. Alternate win condition Trundle is available. And there is only one Fading Memories for the Pillar.
Yeah, we could just see Okay, we could just see an attack. We could just see a matron copying a matron here, or matron copying Lysandra and just have a pretty, a relatively chunky attack. Okay,
Oh,
fading
there we
memories.
go. Fading memories.
Okay, well, Lysandra is leveled, or will be leveled when she hits play.
Yep, not enough for the Watcher overall. But can at least get it into hand. The next token, there are going to be these matrons available.
Okay, the matron targets another matron. Okay, so when Lysandra comes out, we will see a 0 cost Watcher put into play, and we have another matron as well.
Yeah, just trying to put some threat down onto Sqweeby. Make him move, but Crescent Strike is a great answer.
Yeah, especially considering that like Crescent Strike doesn't work on the turn of the Watcher because an additional one is going to come down, right? Like you would have to Crescent Strike the ephemeral one, and you can just play the 0 cost one. So getting value out of your Crescent Strike is fine. And then, of course, we do have the Gravitum after that. Now, this is threatening to kill Aphelios at the very least.
Yeah. Guiding Touch will be forced. And Aphelios is kept alive. Will be very low HP. But can get healed up over time by the buffs in general.
Yep. Sqweeby debating the Boxtopus or not. Not gonna make too terribly big of a difference. Sqweeby has basically all the mana in the world right now. Looking like an open attack with Aphelios just to kill the Ice Pillar. Just fine. I mean, it kind of soft saves Aphelios.
Yeah. Ends up going for the Boxtopus. Doesn't generate that much threat. Just trying to open up the potential to push this Aphelios to face, I would imagine. Sets up for just one burst spell to get those buffs as well. And now, the Watcher going to be created. Lysandra going to hit the board. That's going to give tough to the Nexus. And also is just another potential blocker available.
Yeah, and now there's really not too much that Sqweeby's able to do from a pressure standpoint. An open attack there actually would have actually been threatening lethal, right? The Twisted Fate and the Aphelios getting in. Now, of course, we know that there are 2 Withering Whales on the side of Len, but I think, well, I guess the life gain would have saved him, but potentially could have been a pretty solid play on the side of Sqweeby, but see a Mind Meld here instead. this could be Mind Meld into Gravitum. And Withering Well is going to come out here and just sort of devastate this line of play.
Yeah, Withering Well definitely stopping this one dead in its tracks. Just going to be buffing up the TF and the Aphelios. And really, I mean, really just the TF and barely. Yeah. Ends up just being kind of a big waste of mana. Doesn't actually get too much out. I mean, of course, the mana gets refilled. And now Sqweeby has some mana to work with versus a completely tapped out opponent. However, not a whole lot that he can do with it. His hand is pretty much just Watcher Answers at this point. And I mean, that's not that helps you not lose. It doesn't really help you win.
Right.
He just needs to find more moon weapons for the Aphelios, I suppose, and you get the overwhelms and start to try and push that way. But yeah,
but he can't.
It's not a great spot. Yeah, I mean, he can't. He doesn't have anything to play. Yeah.
Well, he can't because he needs to save this Gravitum for the Watcher. I mean, I think if he would have committed to it the line earlier, he could have used this Gravitum and like still had the Hush plus Equinox for the first wave of Watchers and then gotten back to Gravitum in time. But he didn't go that line. Instead, we are here now. And this Gravitum has sort of been holding this Aphelios hostage, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's kind of the perfect way to describe it, right? He's just stuck. He's not going to be able to level. He's not generating enough weapons because he's, of course, stuck on the Gravitum. And because of this, Len is now getting into what seems to be a good position, even though the Watcher will be answered so easily. Well, I say easily. It will be an 11-17 for 0 mana.
Yeah, and that's the first one, right? Like I mean, okay, and yeah, Len not even going for the cheeky like 0 mana Watcher into open attack. No need for that. Instead, going to be looking potentially to go for Matron, get a Ephemeral Watcher, and then see what Sqweeby has to say. Interestingly, if Len had 2 more mana, we could see the Lyssandra's Entomb used on a Watcher in response to an Equinox, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, it could.
I mean, we could, if Len wanted to go the 0 mana Watcher and sort of give up on the ephemeral side of it, we could see that, but not sure that's the route that he wants to go.
The thing for Len is, even though if he goes for the Spectral Matron one and it does get hushed, I believe that does mean that on the next turn he's got just this Ephemeral Watcher that he can use as a blocker. And he's got a chump blocker, an 11-17 chump blocker.
Yep.
On the following turn. So us knowing that, it does, it leans towards Matron feeling like the direct route. You're going to get a lot of value out of this in general. Then set up for the 0 mana one as well.
Yeah, I mean, the Matron is still a 6/6 fearsome, right? So it's still going to be pretty.
Yeah, it's still great.
Decent. And also,
and there's not a better card for you to play it on.
Right. And also, okay, this is fine.
Yeah, this is better. Yeah, Gravitum Ephemeral is much better than Hush.
Yep.
And you Equinox the real one.
Yep. It binds Sqweeby's Aphelios.
Yeah, and I mean, Infernum is kind of going to be the win condition, right? You need to just Infernum this Aphelios and actually get swinging.
Yep.
But now we'll get the Equinox onto the real Watcher.
Okay. Effective soft pass here with Ice Shard. Sqweeby
Yes, I'll pass with the Ice Shard.
just needs to pass here.
Sqweeby, spam out the passes until you have the chance to actually Equinox the next Watcher.
Yeah, I mean, you could commit Star Shaping here if you really wanted to, if you knew what you were looking for. But it seems a bit hasty, not really too much reason to do it.
A lot of tough decisions between the two. Watcher still kind of the potential option for Len.
Yeah, the other thought is like, let me actually double check and make sure Len is actually running 3 matrons. Len is running 3 matrons, so we could see like
I could have been waiting for like a Bjerg into another matron Watcher
one, and then get another like double Watcher turn. But Len decides to go, just go for it now. Wait,
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
He could steal Len's Watcher.
You can't play it though, right? There's not
this turn. Does it cost?
No, but
it still costs 0.
Would it cost 0?
This is a Giant
science
Slayer
again.
science moment.
Science moment again. I think it's gonna cost 17, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's 0 now. It is a science moment for sure.
Yeah. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I also think it should cost 17. But the less that I am sure that it will. It doesn't make an exact copy, so it won't be silent. It won't be silenced in hand, but it. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Honestly, it doesn't matter what it logically says. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't matter what it logically says or what you can logically deduce based on the wording. That is irrelevant. What is relevant is what actually happens. You can argue over the semantics all you want. At the end of the day, the card works a certain way, and we don't know for sure yet.
Yeah, and gonna be able to block the Watcher. Star Shaping goes out. Has Sqweeby kind of weathered all the win cons and kept his Aphelios alive through it? I mean, that's really the question, right? And right now, it looks like that may be the case.
Yeah. Yeah, Hush will end up killing the Lysandra here, but also the Twisted Fate. Not that Twisted Fate was really much of a threat anyway. Aphelios left at 1. And now, maybe we get to see the science experiment. How much will it cost?
I imagine it was just for a cheap burst spell, but we'll see, because the other options weren't great.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they probably weren't super great. You could also just take Spectral Matron and just have a lot of power.
Yeah, just create a lot of threats on board.
Maybe do a little science experiment.
It's got to be 17 blood. It has to be.
Hey, I'm not arguing with what it should be based on the wording. That was never an issue.
Look, he just needs to get another Spell Thief. I think he only runs 1 though, but he just needs another Spell Thief, and then he steals another Fading Memories.
Yep.
And then he steals a Matron and a Watcher. I think that's the optimal line, I would say.
I feel like that's the most likely way that this game ends in the next hour.
Oh, he actually does have another Spell Thief. He has 2 copies. God, that would be a moment, wouldn't it?
It sure would.
That would certainly be a moment.
Okay. leveled Aphelios.
We didn't even think about that one for the bingo card.
That is definitely a bingo square.
It's definitely not. Like, there's no world we would think of that to be on the bingo card.
Oh, but it is now.
Oh, now it's on the bingo card.
Now. Yep.
Double Spell Thief, Fading Memories.
Yep. To get the
Watcher
combo.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, Len. Drawing the third matron now. Ooh, and we do have Supernova online now that the Traveler has been acquired.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge, right? I mean, you can obliterate the Lysandra. You can set up for this Aphelios to actually finish the game. I mean, it has Overwhelm, has 18 attack. Looks like there's no answer currently in hand. Could probably go without the Supernova, though. I'm not sure the necessity of it. Hush can stop the Tough Nexus as well.
Yep. I don't know what additionally that accomplishes, but that's okay. I mean, I guess it makes this...
How many freezes?
Crescendum.
1 Flash Freeze. 1 Three Sisters. And 1 Harsh Winds. Those are the outs that Sqweeby has to play around.
Oh, there's two Flash Freeze for Len.
Oh, am I looking? I'm looking at the wrong version.
You might be looking at Sqweeby's.
Yep, I'm looking at Sqweeby's version.
Yeah, 1 Three Sisters, 2 Flash Freeze.
2 Flash, no Harsh.
No Harsh. So yeah, that's actually pretty...
So same amount of freezes, as I mentioned, just different ones.
Yep. What?
Ooh, I mean, yeah, I guess if the freeze comes out and you lose your Aphelios, you lose the game, right?
Yeah, but
yeah, you have to. You have to pass.
No, you're right.
You actually have to pass.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually a good play.
I mean,
you take caster vision off, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it feels bad. It feels real bad when you're sitting in our shoes, but he has to pass.
No,
because
100%.
if any of those freezes are there, then the game is done in the other way.
It's true. Chat lethal has been missed.
Yeah, chat lethal. Hearthstone lethal was there for sure.
Chat, type a 1 if you would have attacked there as Sqweeby. Just type a 1.
Yeah.
I'm curious about how many plat players are in chat right now.
Well, chat also sees the hand, so they're gonna believe that they would attack in.
Yep.
Yeah. But playing around the freeze.
Oh no,
feels good.
Wait, Drizoth said 1. Wait a second. Now my whole life is my whole view on life has been changed. I
think he can afford to play around everything because the win condition of the Watcher is completely gone now.
Yeah.
So he can just completely play around everything, but could be wrong about that. That's my take on it, is the fact that the Watcher is gone. Sqweeby can play around everything.
Yeah, why play around some things when you can just play around everything instead?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that attack there just loses to Flash Freeze, right? Like, just straight up, like, the game is basically just over. I guess...
Yeah, you just wait until your Aphelios is cranked to enough HP that it won't die if it gets frozen, and then you're good to go.
Or just Gravitum, so that you have, like, the open...
Sure, yeah. I mean, just whatever you're doing is to make sure that the Aphelios can't die to a freeze, and then at that point you are free to go in and just kind of in your Aphelios until it wins.
Yeah, and this is now like Sqweeby now has it set up so that pretty much anything Len is playing here is either getting stunned and or falling combated. You can do both.
Yeah. Curiosity comes into, there are more freezes than direct removals, but there is still 1 ruination.
True.
And that can deal with the Aphelios. Yeah. Also, was the Vengeance played? I had in my mind that the Vengeance was played from Len, but does he still have So he has his 1 of Vengeance and his 1 of Ruination. Compared to on that last turn, 3 potential freezes. So this next turn has to be an attack. And Sqweeby needs to make his way back to Infernum to guarantee it.
Well, before this line of play happened, we had Gravitum stun one of these and then Comet the other into open attack just pretty cleanly. Does it? You don't need to put any actions into it. But now that is off the table. So now not only the Vengeance, but also the Ruination is online.
Yeah, I think also the fact that Sqweeby is able to pick up a Destroyer is just like, okay, well, now even if my Aphelios dies, I have an additional win condition available.
This makes it so that Ruination is lethal for him. Although the Destroyer's not going to kill on this turn, though.
Not quite. I think it's pretty close. There's been a lot of Celestials played, but I don't think it's 17 yet. I don't think it's quite there. So we will... Sqweeby can get to that Infernum, I'm pretty sure. Because he did just phase it. Which should be able to crank up this Aphelios.
Yep.
Now, Aphelios is still not to enough attack to instantly end the game to these blockers. But it gets pretty close. This is going to be 22, 23, 24. So take away 6. Still 18. So it can be enough with the double fail.
But there's a Withering Wail.
You're right. Yeah, that would keep us
not good
in
enough.
This game. Not good enough.
Does Destroyer change the math?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Probably.
That's 13 more damage that you're going to be throwing in there.
Yeah.
It would only be off by 2 with just the Aphelios if you include the Pale Cascades. So plus 13, minus another 6. I mean, yeah, we're in a good spot if we're Sqweeby to end here, especially because we're looking at Len and there's not actually any of the answers. Okay. Len's gonna FF that one, and we are gonna get a game 3 between Len and Sqweeby. We are going to get the mirror matchup of the Watchers, the TLC. Going to be going mano a mano, 2 of them, trying to see who can get their Watcher online first, can get their win condition online first. We've seen some big draw gaps in this matchup, but it may have the potential, if there are similar draws, for a lot of skill to come out of this one. We just have yet to see it, really. This is a mirror that has actually disappointed me a lot between the Trundle Sonder decks. And I'm curious to see if we'll actually get a good match out of it.
Yeah, I think we could. I mean, I think at the very least this will be a little bit quicker, because I think the draw diff can definitely make it end decisively. If one player has the combo and the other doesn't, that's it. If one player,
it can be a quick matchup.
Unlike Targon, you don't have really a way to interact with the full combo of creating an ephemeral Watcher into playing the 0-cost one.
Yeah, I mean that is the concern, I guess. I mean, here we've got Sqweeby, doesn't have the ramp, but he does have his turn 5 Trundle. That beatdown alone can actually just find wins early on. We see the ramp on Len's side. If he top decks the Trundle on turn 5, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, I mean, in a big crucial turn 8 deck, mirror ramping a turn faster is certainly huge. Len also has a Vengeance to potentially stop a single Watcher turn. Sqweeby 1, 2, 3 still needs an additional 8 drop to fully go off, and actually even considered fading memorizing the Bjerg
just to find another piece of the combo, right?
Yeah.
Just looking for the Spectral Matron, but I I feel like Fading Memories is so valuable on the Ice Pillar for that big to even facilitate the combo in the first place, right? We are going to have a Trundle on one side and not on the other. Definitely favors Sqweeby. He's going to just eat a bunch of mana there, not going to go for the attack, and finds the second Fading Memories, so Sqweeby's really getting there.
I'm sorry, Casa. I'm having too much. I'm having too much fun bonking chat.
Well, I'm having too much fun with chat right now.
What other tournament can you come to, chat, and just get trolled by the casters live while the game is happening? I mean, we still got a lot of game here. Okay, so
a lot of game to go.
A lot of game to go. Although notably here, Len, mod check Trundle. Where's Trundle?
Where's he at?
Where's he at? And the funny thing is, like, Sqweeby kind of can't play the if Sqweeby plays a pillar on Len's turn, then all of a sudden Len has access to the pillars and could potentially lose from there.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where it's at, I suppose, right? I think, you know, Sqweeby does have the double Fading Memories, does have the Lysandra, no Spectral Matron. One turn away, didn't get to ramp.
Could theoretically Spirit Journey the Trundle to generate an additional pillar, though that is extremely sus and like greedy, but could theoretically do it and then have. No, we still don't see. There's still no matron, so. But it would be enough, right? It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. There would be enough Fading Memories to, or there would be enough pillars to get there. Okay, matron.
There's a matron.
A matron. Just to get Lysandra leveled. Sqweeby potentially is going to avalanche his own Trundle so that he opens up the other Trundle to get the additional pillar that he needs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's actually going to be able to kill his own Trundle here.
Yeah,
not worried about these
Fading Memories.
matrons.
Yeah, and he can Fading Memories Len's matron. So Sqweeby just has the combo.
Yeah, he does.
And he can do it all on his turn. Next turn. As long as he doesn't die this turn.
And it doesn't look like he's dying this turn, based on what we're seeing.
I don't think it would be possible unless he plays a pillar.
Yeah, I mean he has assembled Voltron. Here he has assembled the pieces of Exodia. There is a Ruination on the other side, but yeah, like you said, should not matter.
There's not enough. Oh wait, but he needs to. So this gets a little awkward because the missing piece for Sqweeby is he needs a Lysandra. He needs a leveled Lysandra in play, and that currently can't happen unless a pillar comes out. So now it's actually safe to play a pillar. So now Sqweeby can start assembling because even if Len steals a pillar, he can't play it. Yeah, I think Sqweeby is just good to go here.
Yeah, he's gonna start firing it off. Let's see him work. Let's see if he's got it. First pillar comes down. That's the Trundle level up, but that shouldn't be relevant.
Not relevant.
Second pillar.
Yep. And now Lysandra could come out.
Lysandra's leveled up.
Lysandra should come out this turn, because if it gets killed, it doesn't matter. You can Fading Memories the Spectral Matron at any time, doesn't really matter. Okay, this is fine too, though I think that this if Sqweeby's going for the open attack, I feel like this just opens him up to losing.
All right. And then Liss.
I feel like what I would have done was play 2 pillars, play Liss, grab Matron. There will now be a Watcher that cost full mana in hand. Play the Matron next turn, put an Ephemeral Watcher into play. Maybe there just wasn't board space to do this, and then you'd have a 0-cost Watcher as well. It may just not have been enough mana. Also, the Spirit's Journey potentially can be enough here. Yeah, you play Watcher. Although Spirit's Journey doesn't help you against Ruination.
Yeah, but Entomb could. From the Three Sisters. Spirit's Journey shouldn't help against Ruination.
Entomb is too slow. It's 2 turns. You won't have the...
You're right, yeah.
It will come back on Len's next attack token.
Yeah, Spirit's Journey doesn't help against Ruin because, you know, you just kill it and it comes back and then it dies to Ruination.
Yeah, I think that this line just opens up Sqweeby to potentially get stopped this turn. And now Len has access to pillars. I think Len wins now. Unless I'm missing something.
Let's see. Watcher comes down. Ruin in response.
Yep, Ruin. I think you steal 2 pillars and then Ruin.
There's Vengeance. Wait, Vengeance. Oh, no.
Oh, Spirit's Journey punishes. Okay, well.
Okay, well.
It's not over till it's over, chat. It doesn't matter.
All right.
I'd just like to point out that my lines of play would have won for both players. But it doesn't matter. Looks like Sqweeby's going to end up winning this one, right? Unless...
Yeah, no, he takes it. He takes it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
He fizzles the Vengeance. He gets to swing. There's no shuffles, right? There's no shuffles here.
No, there's no shuffle in play. Or no shuffle.
Plus, you can just try and kill the Lysandra either way.
Yep. Well, killing Lysandra doesn't do anything now. The Lysandra is not useful anymore. Oh yeah, if there was a shuffle,
if there was a shuffle, you go in for the kill on it. Deck gets destroyed, and Sqweeby continues the run.
Wow.
He continues the run through the lower bracket. He's going to get his chance to take on Deech once again. He fell to Deech in round 1 and has made the run all the way back through losers, all the way to the losers bracket final, where once again, he will be facing off against Deech, trying to get the invite back to next week's fight night, trying to make it to the finals, play for that lion's share of the prize pool.
Yeah.
And wow, I mean that oh, it was brain melting.
All I will say is that
there
was not draw diff. That was a mirror match, and this is a conversation that actually Drizoth, who's in chat, brought up. But there's the matchup right there. Len getting the first one, Sqweeby following up with the remaining 2. Drizoth asked, are mirror matches on average more or less skill intensive than other matches? And the question I asked was, how do you factor in matchup knowledge? And I think it's a tough question to answer. It's not. I don't think it's an objective thing, but I think there was a difference in matchup knowledge there. I mean, Len went for a Vengeance instead of a Ruination there, where I think the Ruination would have won it. Sqweeby went for the the pillars there to go for an open attack kill, or went for pillars there instead of matron. I think that's a potentially a throw, and those stacked up there. I think if you play enough matches, you play enough mirror matches, you get used to those things. It's tough. I've fortunately for me played a lot of this deck on both sides of it, so I know these types of things, but they're not easy lines to see. I've messed it up countless times.
Yeah, I mean, it can be really tough, especially in those high stress moments for these players.
Yeah,
Trying
absolutely.
to find the perfect line there, and considering the fact we have caster vision, it always helps us as well. But at the end of the day, Sqweeby comes out on top. He's got one more match before he makes it to the grand finals. He's got to take on Deech. It's going to be a tough uphill battle. He already lost to Deech 2-1 earlier on, but we're going to run to a short break. Sqweeby versus Deech, losers bracket final when we return. Don't go anywhere.